Today I'm going to show you how to get the PS4 emulator on your Steam Deck using ShadPS4. This is a PS4 emulator that works really well on the Steam Deck. So let's get straight to it. First thing you need to do is just go ahead and press the Steam button on your Steam Deck, go down to power, and then switch to desktop. So if you've never used a desktop before, then you're going to need a web browser. I'm using Google Chrome, but it doesn't really matter which one you use. You're going to go down to the bottom left to where it says Software Center. You're going to click on that and it's going to bring you here. Just go to the side where it says Internet, Web Browser. Download yourself a web browser. It doesn't really matter which one you choose. Once you have that downloaded, open it up, and then we're going to search for ShadPS4. Once you've searched up ShadPS4, it should be the second link. It's going to be their GitHub page as you see here. Go ahead and click on that. I also have all the links in the description down below. You're going to scroll down to the right side and it's going to say releases. You're going to click the version underneath that, which is the latest version. It's going to bring you to whatever page that is. As of right now, it's version 0.5.0. For you, it may be newer. We're going to scroll down to where it says assets. You're going to click on the first one, which should be ShadPS4 Linux Qt. You want to make sure you download the Qt version. We're going to go ahead and wait for that to finish downloading. And then once that's finished downloading, we're going to go to where our download folder is. So bottom left to the file explorer, we're going to click on downloads and it should bring us to where the download went. We're going to go ahead and bring that to our desktop so we can work with it a little bit more easily. Once we have it here, we're going to press the left trigger and that's going to open up this menu here. Press extract archive here. And then once that's done, we can once again hit the left trigger and move that zip folder to the trash because it's no longer needed. Hit the left trigger once more and we're going to create a new folder. You can name this whatever you want. As you see here, I named mine PS4. Once you have that, we're going to take our ShadPS4 app image and move it into that folder. We're going to go into the folder and we're going to create another folder named games. So now I've already done this in another folder, so I'm going to close this out. But it should pretty much just look like this. You're going to have a games folder as well as your app image. Within the games folder is where you're going to put your games, and it's where the games are going to download to. So once I can't really tell you exactly where to get your games from, PS4 ROMs, just Google it. But that's where you're going to put your games, and then you could go ahead and open up the ShadPS4 app image. Now you are going to get a pop-up the first time that's going to look something like this. It's going to ask you to pick a location to put your installed games. Go ahead and press the browse and you're going to go to that games folder. Now, if this does not bring you to this spot here by default, you're going to click on deck, you're going to go to desktop, and then you're going to go to that PS4 folder, games, and then press choose here, and then press OK. Now, whenever you install games, it's going to install to that folder. So in order to install games, you're going to go to File, Install Packages. All your games should come as a .package file, just like this. So when you do download your game or back up your games and you add it to your Steam Deck, you're going to put it in that folder just so it's easier to find. And you're going to click on that and open, and it should start to install the games. Now, sometimes it will bring up a status bar and you can follow the status bar. Sometimes the status bar doesn't show up and it won't show until it's complete. So once you've done that, a small box should pop up. It's going to install the game depending on the size of the game. As you see here, Dragon Quest is 2 gigs, Bloodborne is 30. The size of the game, it's going to depend. It is going to take longer the larger the game is. So just keep that in mind. But once you've done that, there are a couple other things I do want to show you. So the settings we have here for the update channel, you could go ahead and click and check for updates. Obviously, if you just downloaded the latest version, there's not going to be an update, but in a week or two, just go ahead and check for updates. As time goes on, you want to continue to check for updates so that newer things get added to the emulator. It becomes a little bit more stable. The compatibility for other games does get updated, and then you can also go ahead and update the compatibility database as well by clicking this here. And then it'll go and update that database for you. What we need to now do is close everything out, and we're gonna go back to that Shad app image. We're gonna left trigger, click it. We're gonna press add to Steam. Once we added it to Steam, we can go ahead and open up our Steam file, go to our library, and then we're gonna look for that ShadPS4 emulator. So you can either search for it or just scroll down and find it, and it should be here. Now you're gonna go and left click on it again, properties, and you can name this to whatever you want. PS4 emulator, you can leave it as is if you don't really care about it. I leave it as is. But once that's done, we could go ahead and close our Steam folder, go back to gaming mode, and then I'll show you how to continue on from there. So now that we're back in our gaming mode, we have the current games. Most likely it's not going to show for you. It's because it's the latest game that I've played. But we're going to press the Steam button, go to library, go to non-Steam games, and it should be here. Now for you, it's not going to show a thumbnail like it does for me. It's only showing that because I happen to have the Decky Loader add-on added. So I have Steam Grid DB as well as CSS Loader. I'm not sure which one is actually allowing me to do this. I forgot which one, but Decky Loader is an add-on for the Steam Deck that allows you to customize your Steam Deck. And one of the features that it does is allows you to change the artwork. So if you click on the game, you could go ahead and change the thumbnail of your games as well as the ShadPS4 emulator. So these are the thumbnails available as of right now, and you can customize that as you wish. Pretty cool. I actually recommend that so that it's not just a blank box. But we're gonna go to our library, we're gonna find it, go ahead and click on it and press play. Now once it does load and it does launch, you won't be able to use the touchpad or the joystick unless you're holding the Steam button down. I'm not sure why it does this, but that's just something you need to keep in mind when you're trying to select a game. Just go ahead, pick a game. It may bug out like this, but it should work. Some games do work better than other games. Dragon Quest here does run at 60 FPS, no issues, whereas Bloodborne will run at around 28-30 and it will chug in certain situations. Obviously, a more demanding game is going to just run a little bit worse. Hopefully with more updates it does become a little bit more stable, but I've noticed some games that do not work at all. So I've tried to do God of War 3 remaster and it just won't launch. I'm not sure if it's not a compatible game. Maybe my download was bad. I'm not completely sure. There's no way for me to actually test which way it actually is, if it's the emulator or the game itself, but for whatever reason I couldn't get it to work. Dragon Quest, on the other hand, runs perfectly fine. Bloodborne is playable. I've not really had time to test any other games, but if you do, let me know in the comment section down below if they work out for you. That's pretty much it. You could go ahead and press the Steam button and you can switch back to the emulator itself by just doing that, or you could exit out completely by pressing exit game, and then that will go ahead and close out the entire emulator. But if you happen to have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. If this helped you out, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe for more videos on the Steam Deck, and I hope to see you on the next one. Peace.